Thank you so much to you, Robin, there bringing us our traffic update. And now we'll take a look at your sports news as we, of course, do get closer to the Netball World Cup, which gets underway on the 28th of July out in Cape Town. The sport of netball is winning off the field of play as they wait for their moment on the field of play. To help us talk about this, we've roped in the very best to start off a Friday morning, the Deputy Minister of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, Nocawe Mafu, as well as the President of Netball South Africa, Cecilia Molokwane.
We can't be like you.
You are better than me.
You are there, baby.
Yeah. Flattery will get you everywhere in this world. Cecilia, let me start with you. I mean, you've always just championed the commercialization of netball in South Africa. And now you've done what a lot of people thought impossible in terms of just the quantity and quality of netball in this country. 2 more teams added to the Netball League. And just talk to us about how important this move has been for you as Netball South Africa.
Look, Viswa, it was a very brilliant move for us. And to me, I want to say thank you to Telkom, because you cannot add teams when Telkom doesn't give you, chelete. So when we discussed the renewal of the contract, there were things that, you'll never agree on. Sometimes you agree on some things. But one thing that they wanted, it's the growth of netball. That's one thing I loved about them, to say they want to see netball grow. So we decided this year we're adding 2 more teams. I mean, when Telkom started in 2019, it was 10 teams. We're talking 15 teams now. And we decided to start Limpopo Lilies and Free State Sonoblom. And I want to say it's not Sonoblomes, it's Sonoblom. Yes, Swan. Yes. So people are saying Sonoblom is no Sonoblom. So we want to say growth for girls. I mean, those girls that never thought they'll play the TNL in the Free State, now they're playing it, because remember, it's only 12 players that can play in a province. So now they've got 24 players, and we want to grow. We want to end up with 2 teams in each and every province. KZN, as Nishilo Guti, they were relegated, to the B section, but because of we've added 2 more teams, they stay in the A section. So Kingdom Stars will always be there. And Alus of Eastern Cape, they won. And then they won the relegation. They'll also going back. Remember when the TNL started, they were in the A section. So they're going back to the A section. So thank you to Telkom.
But thank you to Telkom, but also congratulations to you, because the organization needs to be led by someone who's got a vision, and you certainly do have that. DM, let me bring you into the conversation. You've never been shy about the fact that you want to close that gap in terms of equal pay for men and women athletes in South Africa. Mhlambe, just bring us more into the picture about what this move means for you as the department, and what the department is also looking at doing and ensuring that gap continues to close, so that when we speak about athlete pay, it's not male versus female, but it's just this is what's average for this type of athlete in the sporting code.
Thanks, Mangabo. And really and truly, when the conversation started in the country about the women and the men unequal pay, we never thought we would be here today, to talk about the strides we have made and what the women's sport is achieving in the country. It's actually something to marvel about. But what we do as the department right now, you remember there was a time that we talked about the women in sport policy. That women in sport policy now is out there. It's in the government gazette. It's for public comments. And once it has passed as law, it is going now to be, nobody is going to have manga business in terms of making sure that equal pay, parity, and everything else that makes those athletes to be on the equal with everybody. And we are very grateful, because one of the things that has helped us a lot is you guys, media. Media has been very clear about making sure that the issue of the women's sport is out there. And people started to sit up and notice, and it became a conversation in the country. We really appreciate that. That's number 1. But number 2, we still want to say to the corporate, Telkom has done well, as the president is saying, but we still need more corporate to come on board. They are doing a lot for for the male sport. We want them to come on board for the women's sport, because once we have more corporate, it's going to be less work for us as government. Right now, you know, after the T20 cricket
World Cup, yes.
World Cup, when we then said to cricket, we're giving the girls 7.5 million for their work, but we also are giving 5 million per annum to make sure that there's a professional league. We're not going to be sustaining that if corporate doesn't come
on board. Yeah,
you understand? It's a kickstart, that 15 million, but we need corporate to come in, take over, because that's what we did. The same thing with netball when we started to assist them with the league, and then they had to get sponsors to come in. So we need those sponsors. But I'm happy. I'm quite happy that we are here. We're talking better about the women's sport. 25th of July, Banyana will be playing their first match in New Zealand. I'm excited. 28th of July, Spa Proteas will be playing their first match at the World Cup
at South Africa.
You know what I mean? And we're playing against Wales. And I can assure you that one is going to be a walk in the park for the girls.
Let's talk about that walk in the park, Cecilia. Just talk to us about the state of readiness of the South African team. We've spoken a number of times already here on Morning Live about how changes were made in terms of the coaching. How are you feeling now just about how ready the girls are? And I know off air we were talking about how there's no more games left to prepare the girls any further. What we've got now is basically what we're working with. Are you confident that we'll have a podium finish?
No, I am very confident. They will finish on a medal podium. That's the mandate. They know it, that they have to do it. I'm very happy because the girls, 8 of them are overseas right now.
Yes.
Playing in the Suncorp League, some playing in the Vitality League in England, some playing in ANZ in New Zealand. And we have in the Telkom League for those that are here in the country. And you know, we see our A section of the Telkom League is one section that we want to watch. You don't know who's going to be the winner. And I like it because almost in each and every team of the A section, there's a national player. There's a squad player that it's eyeing to be in the 12. Remember, we have submitted the 22 names of the players that will be playing the World Cup to World Netball. But now we cannot announce the 22. We can only announce the 12.
Yes.
Actually, this time it's 15. The 15 players that are going to play the World Cup. So we're waiting for Coach Noma to come and say, but I'm confident that the girls, they're doing well. When I was looking at the shooting stats of who's doing well in England, where the girls are, I mean, it was Uganda and South Africa that were doing very well in the shooting areas. I mean, we were even beating England, who's actually the people that are hosting the league there. So to me, the girls are doing well, and I know they are complaining at SAS. Oh, it's difficult for them because they were saying those are in the country, they are full-time in SAS. So they were saying, Verna, I wanted to meet Verna. The day I saw Verna, I said, yeah, I understand. They say this guy is working on us. He says, no, President, I'm preparing them for the hard games because I read what was happening and I studied England, New Zealand, and England when they were here in the country during the Quad Series. So as much as those are taken care of overseas, we must do the same with the ones that are in the country.
And we know
but
that
you must also tell Vusiwe that you are eyeing the 7.5 million. You want more.
No, we want more. No, I told it straight, Vusiwe. We want more. T20 said 7.5 million. I said, no, not for my girls.
Not for your girls.
No, not for my girls.
And Minister, just as we start to wrap up on that, just talk to us. I mean, you know, you talk about the injection that you made for the girls in terms of cricket. Was that a difficult decision for you to make? Because some may say, well, cricket is already in South Africa. You know, CSA has got the funding coming in from various places. How difficult a decision was that for you to make, to say you want to inject this fund to get this league started? And Minister, just as you answer that question, maybe just speak it to us about what the expectations are in terms of this Netball World Cup, how we are building up to it. We see you wearing these beautiful Netball Friday tops. I don't have one. Sakina's not wearing one. Leanne's also not wearing one. But just to start getting South Africans excited and feeling that, you know what, on the 28th of July, this World Cup kicks off in Cape Town.
Yes. First of all, I think you would know now, if you know your maths, that by next week we will be starting the 100 days countdown. And by that time, almost everybody must be wearing their T-shirt. When we leave here, we are off to Tembisa. We are doing a massive launch of a 100 days countdown. And by that time, almost everybody must be wearing their T-shirt. When we leave here, we are off to Tembisa. We are doing a massive launch of a 100 days countdown. And by that time, almost everybody must be wearing their T-shirt. We are doing a massive Netball Friday, where we want to make sure everybody who walks into that stadium today will leave with a T-shirt. Everybody, and we don't expect less than 5,000 people there. That's how we were clear about. So your T-shirt will be coming into the studio. That one you can be assured of. Secondly, we want to make sure that as we injected, it was not a difficult decision for us, because Cricket SA is doing well, but in terms of the women's team, there has always been that lagging. And we felt that it's important that women must know that we respect them and we appreciate the work that they have done. And I can assure you, if they finish at the medals table,
yes,
I'm talking about the Spa Proteas now, the same thing will happen to them. Because for us, it is not about the individuals, it's about making sure that the country understands that when women do well, as South Africans, we appreciate it.
Yes.
Because it then talks to all of us, understanding that when we hype the women in sport, it is not just a lip service.
It's just not lip service.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, the President of Netball South Africa, Cecilia Molokwane, and of course the Deputy Minister of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, looking absolutely gorgeous on a Friday morning. That Netball World Cup does get underway on the 28th of July out in Cape Town. We're certainly hoping to be there as part of the people sitting there watching the Spa Proteas do their thing.